Hey y'all, this is my third hike of the day, second real hike. The waterfall was really short, and I am in the Harmon Wildlife Management Area of the Appalachian Ranger District in Pisgah National Forest. This is a pretty isolated, not heavily used section of the National Forest that is between the Pigeon River Gorge and the Tennessee border. It runs from basically the border of Great Smokies Mountains National Park towards Hot Springs. And I started at Brown Gap, and I'm taking the Appalachian Trail north. Technically it's going east, but I'm on the north section. And I am doing a moderate hike out to Max Patch Mountain. It's listed as 3.5 miles from Brown Gap to Max Patch. And Max Patch is known as one of the best bald summits in the South. And I've never been there. I'm very much looking forward to it. The clouds have lifted from earlier, so I should get fantastic open views. You can drive almost to the summit of the mountain and hike like a mile or so round trip, but that's not how I do it. So I've been looking for ways to have a longer trip to Max Patch, and this is around 7 miles. The other option was from Lemon Gap to the north, and that would have been around 11.3, 11.4 miles. But considering I already did some hikes earlier, I had to take the shorter option because it's already mid-afternoon. So I gotta get going. I got about 2.8 miles left. So I should be there before 4 o'clock and get fantastic views because it's all blue outside now. You can actually see Max Patch through the trees. It's just like a bright yellow gold dome in the distance. I think it's about 2 miles from me. I might get a better view later, but thought I'd break out the camera. See that straight ahead? Just to give you some context for this area, the Appalachian Trail, the last high point before it leaves Great Smokies Mountains National Park is Mount Cammerer, just around 5,000 feet, and then it drops, I think, 2,500 or 3,000 feet all the way down into the Pigeon River Gorge, and then immediately climbs right back up, and it passes over a couple desolate mountains before it gets to the part where I'm at, Snowbird Mountain and Harmon Mountain, and then it drops in the Brown Gap, which is around 3,500 feet, just under that. And the first mile of this trail was a pretty steep climb, about 700 feet straight up. But right now, I'm straddling the border of the Tennessee and North Carolina, and the trail is now just kind of on the ridge around 4,000 to 4,200 feet. And it's gonna stay like that all the way to Max Patch. So the only real climbing of the day is the very beginning. Then I guess the last few hundred feet at the end to Max Patch, which is 4,629 or 26, one of those. So overall, I only got about 1,100 feet total to climb. So it's a pretty moderate hike, you know, it's nice out and back. And I'm excited to explore more of this area. I know that Snowbird Mountain has a couple grassy viewpoints that not many people hike on other than AT through hikers. And there's a nice loop that starts right at Brown Gap where I was using the Rube Rock Trail, and it goes to cliff overlooks of the Pigeon River Gorge. So I might have to do that soon. But for now, getting pretty excited to get some big views in a bit. This is awesome. Those are the Black Mountains right there. Just wanted to point out these are the Great Smokies. This peak right here is Mount Sterling. That promontory on the right is Mount Cammerer, and the biggest peak, dead center, is Mount Guyot. And right here, the biggest peak on the right is Crabtree Bald, the largest in the Newfound Mountains. And that bald spot straight ahead is Sandy Mush Bald, the second biggest. The Great Balsam Mountains are dead ahead. And those are the Plott Balsam Mountains. Almost done with the hike. Descending to Brown Gap right now. And wow, Max Patch is incredible. I cannot believe I have not been there before. That is easily the most expansive single bald summit that I've been on in the state. So awesome. You get views in every direction of mountains. To the north and northeast were the Bald Mountains. You could see the whole chain of the Black Mountains. Further east, and then in the immediate east and southeast were the Newfound Mountains, and that big crest that looked the best on camera is the crest that connects Sandy Mush Bald to Crabtree Bald, the two biggest peaks in that range. And then you can see all of the big peaks south of the Great Balsams and Plott Balsams. And then an amazing view of the Great Smokies. There's Mount Sterling and Mount Cammerer, which was the pointy promontory point. I can't believe I just said that. That's very repetitive. And then the tallest peak of the Smokies in that direction is Mount Guyot. That's like the second tallest peak in the Smokies. And then some mountains in Tennessee, which I can never name them. Y'all are always complimenting me about how I can name everything, but once I look into Tennessee, I don't know what I'm looking at. So the hike's gonna be Around 2 hours and 45 minutes, just under 3 hours. I could have spent more time at the summit just chillaxing, but you know, I have to hike back before sun goes down. It's going to be about 7 miles, so amazing way to end my day. I'm really glad that I got views from there when I didn't get views earlier from Chambers Mountain. So definitely check out Max Patch, and I'll be hiking again in 2 weeks. Later, guys.